it normally starts with just one thought, and then once you entertain that thought, you realize that and you start searching online about it. You realize that there are so many people who have done different things from what they have done either in school or from what they have been doing in their lives, and they just decide to move into a different career trajectory because of the ideas that they've been able to gather, or the path, or maybe the reflection that they've been able to have. And it has to always begin with the why, because if your why is strong enough, then you can be able to manage through, because changing career paths is not easy. Hello everyone, welcome to Balance It podcast. Balance It is a platform that empowers young men and women to live a purposeful life. We help you navigate through the challenges of life and gain stability in all your spheres of life.
We engage in conversations relating to purpose-driven living, health, fitness, entrepreneurship, and anything related to lifestyle.
Our massive transformative purpose is transformation through wellness.
If you like this episode, make sure that you subscribe and share it with your family and friends. I am Gertrude Nasike.
And I am Eda Onyoni.
Welcome back to the Balance It podcast. So today's episode is all about something we've really faced and something we can really relate to. And before we say it, just make sure you follow our social media pages at Balance It Podcast, and also our YouTube and Spotify at Balance It Podcast, and subscribe to the channel because it's free. So today we're going to talk about a growth mindset. And this is something I believe all of us have faced, or we've faced a time maybe we were stuck or we needed to really step up and grow as a person, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about today.
So yes, definitely that is it for today, and definitely you can also follow us on our Instagram pages. Eda Kemi
and Getty Fitness or Body by Style.
Yes, definitely. Where there you can be able to see how our lives are evolving, aside from us talking about the conversations that we are having here on the Balance It podcast.
Yes. So just to start us off, I know like life happens so many times. Would you tell us, maybe, do you remember a point where you were really stuck, or even if not really stuck, but you felt like there was actually a need for you just to step up or to change a mindset in order to get to the next level?
Definitely, yes.
Wow, maybe tell us more.
That has just been my adulthood journey, basically. That has been my adulthood journey, because I remember when, especially like moving to a different country, that was, I cannot say that I was stuck, but I needed to change my mind to think differently compared to how I was thinking back when I was either depending on my parents or being in an environment that I was super comfortable, because this is an environment that I was used to. But now moving to a different country, you need a different mindset. There is a switch that you have to do in your mind, and maybe most people who have traveled can also relate to this. It's never the same. And also you, I'm sure, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. I would just jump onto that same story. For me, before coming here, it was like there needed to be a shift in the mindset, and I'm so glad that by the time I was coming here, I was so open-minded, open to trying new opportunities and just going to the next level. And I remember this was so because I felt like I really needed to do something in life, and if it's pertaining my education, definitely studying abroad is such a privilege, and I needed to really tailor my mindset so as to be able to be open or to be prepared for opportunities that I was actually going to seek. And that really applies even when you're getting to school, or when you're meeting people in streets or in other networking events, because you really try to be open as compared to maybe previously, where I would try to just be in the background or become laid back, so as just to let other people take opportunities. So I had to change that mindset, because I was like, this is a privilege and it's actually I must take advantage of it all. And that's why I had to really just be open-minded and grasp everything that I can that would be useful. Yes.
Yeah, I really like the fact that you have brought up the word being open-minded, because that is a very key word when we are talking about having a growth mindset. And now for me, for example, when I was, now after I have traveled, that is when I actually came to the realization that I do not have to do things the same way that I was doing in Kenya. In a sense that if I don't enjoy whatever that I am learning, maybe in school, something that I've been doing in school, I can easily shift to a path that I am easily aligned with, something that comes naturally to me. And it's hard to come with the fact of being open-minded and being open to meeting people, discussing different opportunities with people, to understand, is this really my path? Is this something that I want to continue doing for the rest of my life? Or do I want to change that trajectory?
Wow, I think that's really well said. And I'm just curious, you've also brought a fact that being open-minded allows you to really think or take different maybe career path trajectories from what you actually learned. I remember of one of these mentors who talked to us like in one of the congresses that we were in, and he was like saying sometimes it's good to do your second best job and use the skills from your passion career or your first best job to now do that second best job. I don't know, and it just brings me to the curiosity of how exactly can you be able to navigate, because yes, definitely a growth mindset is needed, but you're in a position where you're like, maybe whatever I'm doing right now, or whatever I've studied right now is what's gonna give me that job, but at the same time maybe it's not something I want to pursue later. How do you navigate it?
Okay, I'll just share my example. For me, it was coming to the realization that is this something that I really want to do? I am good at it. Not that I am not good at it. I am good at it. It's just that I have something else that I enjoy doing more. That's something that I can be able to give freely if I was to give freely. Something that I can wake up at night and I can easily do it without much effort. And it just came as like an aha moment to me when I was thinking about where I am seeing myself, my future goals, where like the generational wealth that I want to leave for my generation. Like during my reflection moment is when I came to that aha moment that I actually do not need to follow what I have been doing because that is exactly what I have been doing, or because that is what I have been studying in school for. So once I started reflecting, and it normally starts with just one thought, and then once you entertain that thought, you realize that and you start searching online about it, you realize that there are so many people who have done different things from what they have done either in school or from what they have been doing in their lives, and they just decide to move into a different career trajectory because of the ideas that they've been able to gather, or the path, or maybe the reflection that they've been able to have. And it has to always begin with the why, because if your why is strong enough, then you can be able to manage through, because changing career paths is not easy.
It's not easy.
It's not easy. Or changing something that you are used to be doing, it's not easy.
Yes.
And there are so many challenges that you face. There are so many things that you have to change in your life. There are so many new people that you have to meet in order to proceed with that journey that you want to. But it's upon you, and it has to be an internal discovery, and it has to be an internal motivation, and not maybe a motivation from like maybe an external motivation. It has to be internally to you, because I came to realize that once my why was solid enough, I was even able to be confident to talk to people about what I want to do. Compared to before, I would just talk to people, but I am not really confident exactly in what I want to do.
Yeah.
Or I would just talk to people, or I would just listen to people, and I'm like, I really want to be in your position, but I just can't. I can't move. So the first thing is, first of all, understanding your why, and the why has to be super solid and makes sense a lot to you. And also like engaging listening to different people who have already done it, such things, and talking to different people who have already done it. It's like they solidify, and they tell you, it's like they give you that motivation to keep doing what you pursue. And I am always an ambassador of do what you enjoy doing. Pursue what you enjoy doing, because this life is too short. Yeah.
Boom. That's really well put, and I love how you've put it. And it just reminds me, there's this time where I was really trying, I feel like I was really stuck, and I was really trying to really move forward. But in the process of self-discovery, I realized that there was a point where I found admitting to be wrong is a very hard thing. And later on, I came to discover that when you're developing or when you're cultivating a growth mindset, admitting to be wrong is inevitable. And this is something that I've had so many people say. Yes, someone being telling you maybe you're wrong or you're not competent enough. It's really hard. We're humans, honestly. Let's agree to it. But I feel like it's something I would want to add, because when you have a growth mindset, you're actually going to be open to embracing those no's, and be open to actually trying to understand, okay, Eda, you've critiqued me and you've said maybe whatever I've presented is not good, or it's not up to standard, or I could do better, but why are you actually doing this? It's not always about now I wouldn't approach it from a judgmental point of view. It's like, why is Eda like telling me this, but if I have a growth mindset, I notice that I would approach it from a point of, what more can I actually do, or what am I supposed to really learn? Because the outside party looking in would be in a position to really see the points that you need to, maybe the nuts that you need to tighten up, and what you need to maybe remove, and what you need to add, as compared to you who has done that work. So having a growth mindset should allow you as a person to be open to being criticized, and please, positive criticism as well, being criticized, and also just being without feeling so bad, and then without feeling guilty, and taking this as opportunities for growth, rather than maybe people not wanting to be on your side, or just people, let's say politics, you say. I don't know what's your take on that, but that's something I've really experienced, and I felt like when I developed a growth mindset, it's totally changed, because now I was open to now accepting correction and admitting that I am at fault, and not just the kind of admitting just for the sake of peace, or admitting for the sake but literally admitting with intentionality and being open to actually learn through that process and get to the other side of excellence.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like because you brought that up. Because I was actually talking to somebody else, and I like the way they put it, having a teachable spirit. That right there is a mindset of growth. And I totally agree, and I can totally relate, because I can see how the dynamics changed before, when maybe I was not making decisions according to how I would want my life to go, and after now I decided this is the path that I want to take. Initially it would be somebody would correct you and they're like, why are you correcting me? You want to be defensive. But now after that you have now worked on yourself, and you are now, somebody critiques you, and it's the how you react to the situation now changes. It's now like, okay, I have worked on myself on these areas. Maybe I have not touched on these other touch, and the narrative totally changes. And I think that right there is a positive and growth mindset. And I like there was a speaker that we had the other day, and he was talking about competency, and what was it?
He said like 4 dimensions of us. So there is the incompetent, like there's the part of incompetence that we do know, we are aware of ourselves.
The conscious competence, unconscious
incompetence, and then the conscious incompetence and the unconscious competence.
So those are 4 things that you guys need to look out for. You need to know, because I actually before we started this video, I just thought about it, because it's a broad thing, but such that when you know where you are specifically, it can be able to direct you to the other paths, because now we are talking about competency and conscious, such that you know you are competent, and you are aware that you are competent about it. And there is somebody else who is not even aware that they are competent, but they are actually competent. Then there is the third person who is aware that they are competent, and they are actually competent. And there is another person who is aware they are competent, but they are actually not competent. So you need to know where exactly that you lie, because I think using that competency and conscious narrative, you being a conscious or you being aware of your level of competency, it can be able to also give you that aspect of whether I need to build myself, what I need to increase, who I need to grow. It can give you something like a pathway to know where to lead your life. And I was just bringing also the teachable spirit.
That's really well put. I think it's a very good summary, because you would see, in summary, like you would find, for someone to have a really growth mindset, they really have to have undergone these areas. Having that teachable spirit, being open-minded, being able to embrace changes, understanding that. Another thing I noticed, understanding that people are from different cultures, people are from different backgrounds. Eda and I are both Kenyan, are both maybe African
ladies,
but we are both ladies, but we've been brought up totally different. I need, as a person, to understand that some of the things that are right to her might not be right to me, and some of the things that are right to me are not right to her. And it's not because any of us was taught badly or something like that, but it's just a totally different kind of mindset that you need to develop, and it helps when you're dealing with different people from different cultures, because you get to give people grace, understanding that both of you were not brought up in the same household. So if you like cleaning after yourself, and maybe someone has been brought up where servants do that for them, then it's gonna be a different thing. You'd be stressing that person, trying to really make them fit in your routine, fit in your rigid kind of cube that you've created as a perfect standard for yourself and for how you've been brought up, shaped by your environment, and in real sense it's not working for them. And then you end up building conflict. But when you have actually a growth mindset, you're in a position to really understand and embrace that it is okay, we are different, but we can still coexist in different situations, yeah, which is something that I also just wanted to point out too. And then just being open, taking up opportunities. Like, opportunities are really many out here. Like, it's just all about us embracing the spirit to really go and get the opportunities and show up,
Yeah, and also, because we have talked about being open-minded, we need to cultivate this growth mindset. You talked about showing up for the opportunities, being or showing up in the room. Because experience is the best teacher. Do you have something else that maybe in your life that has helped you cultivate this growth mindset? Because for me, I can say just being around people who are there already, or not even if they're not there yet, just being around people who are along the path where I want to be in, I can say has really helped me shift my mindset, because I've realized that when I'm in communities, I am seeing how people are changing things, how people are doing their own things. When I'm around maybe my elder sisters, or when I'm around people like you who know what they want, when you are around speakers who are, or maybe experts who are really good at whatever they are really doing, I've realized that it has always shifted something in me, such that when I go home, it's never the same conversation, it's never the same, especially if you are hanging around people who just have this growth mindset. You'll get to a point you're like, okay, so why was I overreacting to this thing? Was it even worth overreacting to? Is there something else maybe in your journey that has made you think, okay, I need to shift my mindset?
I think for me, something I would say that, like, tools that have actually helped me shift my mindset is, one, it's the same thing, environment, surrounding myself with people who are actually on the same journey. And another thing is, like, podcasts. I normally try to look at the imbalance in my life and look for a podcast or a YouTube video that is actually addressing that imbalance. If it's in health, if it's in my spiritual life. In my spiritual life, communities have really helped me get nurtured. There's this K Crew Bible study community. I love it so much. As much as I can't attend it online, like in person, but I would say it's a group that literally has also been there and nurtured me also spiritually, even as far as I'm a little bit far. Other things I would say, just having a routine. Honestly, to maintain a growth mindset or to cultivate this growth mindset, you just need to also have a routine. Things that you do constantly that are going to keep feeding your mind, because you remember we said in our previous videos, whatever you feed your mind, it can be through visuals, it can be through what you're listening, and then every other thing. It's exactly what's going to be reflected in your heart, in how you speak, in how you interact with people. So basically, just having a routine that is ensuring that my mind is fed well, maybe reading books, having a gratitude journal. I'm actually almost getting to 100 days of consistency. Right now I'm at 93.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's really great.
And it's something that I wasn't doing it like consciously, or I'm just like, today I have to write because I'm on this journey. No, it's something I realized, like, I'm just keeping track. The app actually keeps track on my behalf. I hadn't noticed, and I'm almost getting to 100 days of gratefulness this year. So, like, a straight 100 days. So that's really Awesome. So just having these things around and really knowing exactly which areas or which resources to use to actually fill up these areas of imbalance in your life. If it's relationship wise, understand what are the steps you need to get back to a balance. If it's your schoolwork and every other thing, if you need to consult professors more, do that. If you need to get mentors in your career life, connect with people on LinkedIn or on these professional networking events. Like, these are the things, these are the communities, and these are the tools that are actually going to help you develop that mindset. Yeah. And because if you also hang around people who do not take whatever you take seriously, be rest assured you're the one who's going to be pulled down. You're no longer going to have like a clear mindset of maybe this is where I want to go, or this is what I want to do, because we are really shaped by the people around us. There's a theory called the social influence theory. It says that most of our decisions are based on our neighbors or the people around us. They're influenced by that. So if you're also in just a situation where you're surrounding yourselves with people who don't take that as a norm, be rest assured you're the one who's going to be pulled down. But if you're surrounding yourself with people who are doing better, or people who are also just in the same journey, even if you're peers or they're slightly below you, but they're actually intentional with being in that journey, then you're in a good trajectory to shaping your growth mindset. Yes.
And it's a matter of asking yourself, what do I want for myself?
Exactly.
And once you answer that question, you will know what next course of action to take. But otherwise, if you're not asking yourself those reflective questions, then you'll just be following the waters, and the waters might take you to either to the river, to the right path, which is the river, or they might take you to the forest, because now when the waves come, exactly. So it's a matter of asking yourself what exactly. And sometimes as we are continuing to grow, sometimes we are faced with different things, and we have to make tough decisions that we are not used to making. Maybe before, we have to make up decisions that are tough even for us and even tough for our friends. But it's a matter of asking yourself, or like questioning yourself, and just coming to the agreement with yourself that okay, this is what I need, and if I do not do this could be the consequence of not doing it. So would you rather continue with the same kind of friends that you are hanging out with and go to the wrong path in life, or would you rather just maybe be by yourself and do whatever that you want to do with yourself and start making new friends? Because I've come to realize that people actually don't want to make new friends, which is okay. It's okay. But now, what are you doing? What are your current friends helping you with? So if your current friends are helping you grow, well and good. But if you are staying with the same old friends because now you don't want to leave them, because how will they feel when you leave them? It's a matter of balancing life out, and life is too short for real. Like we have seen these days, we are seeing so many deaths, and it's so devastating to see young people go. And I normally say that these are so many ideas that have gone. These are generations that have gone before us, and if you start indulging yourself in things that are not going to help you, then I don't think you are doing justice to your life. Because later on you will grow up and you realize you have wasted, let's say, 5 years of your life, and 5 years go by so fast. You realize that you've wasted 5 years of your life that you could have done very major things in your life. So let's just ask ourselves those reflective questions. What do I really want from my life? Even if you are growing, ask yourself those questions. What do I want from my life? Where do I want to see myself? Even if you really don't have that picture, just have some imagination, and start surrounding yourself, just as Gertrude says, start surrounding yourself with those kind of right of people who will lead you to that exact same goal that you want for your life.
That's really well put. And on those days that it's very hard to stay consistent or to keep moving, just make one small step to the right direction. Just one. As long as it's to the right direction, even if it's just waking up, that's good enough. Yeah, so that has really been a good wrap. And maybe just to finish the episode off, make sure you subscribe as we keep singing, and also share with your family and friends, and also comment what do you want to know more, or the kind of guests you want us to bring on board, so that we can be able to really reach our audience better and create value.
Yes, and definitely let us know, how has your mind shifted? How has your growth mindset shifted over time? We would like to hear those stories. And until next time,
bye.